This is a sample of the information provided as part of the flexible training resources available through Housekeeping. Our training courses are designed to provide training participants with an understanding of food safety and quality system elements and also offer user-friendly assessment activities and competency checklists to complete the training cycle. Waste and Recyclables Management. Key definitions for waste and recyclables management. Cross-connection, a direct link between a potable water system and a non-potable water system which permits undesirable substances to be drawn into the potable water. Liquid waste. Liquid waste is the discarded fluid discharge from any fixture, appliance, equipment, utensil or fitting which contains animal, vegetable or chemical matter in suspension or solution. Recycling. Recycling involves processing used materials into new products to prevent waste of potentially useful materials. Rework. Action on a non-conforming product to make it conform to the requirements by taking unsaleable food and using it in the manufacture of other saleable food. Sewage. Sewage is solid or liquid waste containing human or animal waste matter in suspension or solution. Waste. Waste, also referred to as rubbish, trash, refuse, garbage, or junk is unwanted or unusable materials or byproducts. Waste and Recyclables Management Development. When considering the development, documentation and implementation of waste and recyclables management within food safety and quality management systems, the following information should be considered to ensure effective outcomes. About waste and recyclables management. Containers for waste and inedible substances. Recyclable materials. About good housekeeping practices. Water waste. About waste and recyclables management. The food industry produces a large quantity of byproducts or waste, which must be disposed of or recycled. Food businesses create several types of waste, the appropriate handling and management of which is essential to prevent cross-contamination of the foodstuffs being handled by the business. Suitable provision must be made for the removal and storage of all waste variants that occur as a consequence of operating any food business. Waste and recyclable materials must not be allowed to accumulate in food handling, storage or other operational working areas in the adjoining environment except so far as is unavoidable for the proper functioning of the food business. Waste storage, processing and handling areas must be kept appropriately clean and sanitized. Waste and recyclables management systems should be monitored for effectiveness and periodically verified by methods such as pre-operational inspections or, where appropriate, microbiological sampling of the operational environment. It is important to consider that waste by definition may also include items such as out-of-specification products, which may need to be held until a decision is made regarding their disposal. The incorrect application of waste and recyclables management within any food business may pose a risk of cross-contamination and compromise the production of safe food. It is also important to consider that the lack of appropriate applications of waste and recyclables management within a food business can also negatively impact upon the effectiveness of other business systems such as pest and vermin control. Inappropriately handled and managed waste and recyclables, particularly around the exterior of a food premises, can harbor and sustain pest presence, which may lead to issues within the site. Containers for waste and inedible substances. Containers for waste, byproducts and inedible or dangerous substances, should be specifically identifiable, suitably constructed and, where appropriate, made of impervious material. Containers used to hold dangerous substances should be identified and, where appropriate, be lockable to prevent malicious or accidental contamination of food. It is common for food businesses to nominate a specified color, signage or coating for waste containers to ensure they are not mistaken for food containers. In such instances, documented procedures must include clarifications of these. Induction and ongoing training activities should also include requirements for the storage, handling and usage of waste containers. Waste containers are commonly the only such items to be allowable for floor storage within food businesses. All other containers and items should not generally be stored directly on the floor. Recyclable materials. In a modern age where resource management has social and economic implications, recycling of materials has become an important requirement for many food business sectors. Recycling usually involves the temporary segregated storage of specified items such as plastics and cardboard. These items are then commonly removed from the food business by a contracted service provider who will make the materials available for reprocessing into other items. Where recycling is conducted by a food business, the general rules of waste management must be followed to ensure products do not become contaminated through the actions associated with the recycling process. About good housekeeping practices. The aims of good housekeeping practices are to reduce potential threats to the safety and quality of foods during all stages of processing, storage and handling. The advantages of good housekeeping practices include team building and reliance, conservation of time and effort whilst working, improvement of workplace safety, minimized risk of product or process contamination, improved effectiveness of pest control programs and the protection of machines and equipment used in processing. The requirements of good housekeeping practices include regular cleaning all spills and breakages as soon as they occur, placing all waste into regularly emptied bins, ensuring all equipment is maintained in a good state of repair and is covered or stored when not in use, cleaning ingredient and raw material containers regularly and removing unused or discarded containers from processing areas immediately, keeping all processing areas clean, placement of items, storing chemicals, waste bins, packaging away from food, keeping all maintenance-related items such as tools, nuts and bolts, lubricants and rags in a specified area, storing hoses and other cords coiled on hooks and off the floor when not in use. Ensure no raw materials or packaging materials of finished products come into direct contact with the floor. Do not allow foods that are not suitable for consumption to be mistaken for other foods. Water waste. Proper sanitary controls for water supply systems and sewage and liquid waste disposal systems are necessary in all types of food businesses to prevent the contamination of food and the creation of public health hazards. Water sources within food businesses is so commonplace that it is often overlooked, and not given much thought as to its availability, purity and safety. Most water supply systems must generally comply with two important requirements: regulations for potable water systems to ensure the purity and safety of the water when it is used within the food business, and a uniform plumbing code to ensure that the plumbing that carries the water in the establishment is properly sized, installed, and maintained. Despite the protection initially provided through compliance to these two regulations, hazards may potentially occur through repairs, emergencies, changes or alterations in the water delivery and distribution system within a food business. Custom water systems, portable water systems and recycled water systems present special challenges which must be identified and managed to ensure the production of safe foods. Food business owners, operators and supervisors must ensure that sewage and liquid waste generated in their facilities are properly disposed of in an approved disposal system. Equipment and fittings with plumbed or temporary drains are not directly connected to the sewage systems. Food preparation sinks, including washing sinks when the health department allows such facilities to be used for food preparation, are not directly connected to the sewer. Modifications and alterations are not made to equipment or drains to create direct connections. Mobile food establishments, temporary food establishments, and vending machine operations have approved liquid waste disposal methods in accordance with appropriate legislation. Sewage and liquid waste disposal. Sewage and liquid waste disposal is strongly regulated because many disease organisms are found in human and animal excrement. Improper disposal of sewage and liquid waste contributes to insect, rodent and other pest problems and water pollution, all of which may potentially contribute to the production of unsafe foods. The static septic tank of on-site sewage disposal systems must be pumped regularly to ensure adequate performance. Failure to do so will result in system malfunction that contributes to sewage backup, pooling at the disposal site or drainage into a nearby watercourse. Plumbing for sewage and liquid waste in all types of food establishments must be sized, installed and maintained in accordance with the applicable plumbing regulations, and all installations, repairs and alterations must be facilitated by a licensed plumber. Liquid waste must be hygienically disposed of to ensure contamination of foods does not occur. Liquid waste sources such as mop bucket water, Equipment cleaning and sanitation. Water and food preparation must not be poured onto the external premises at a food business, or otherwise be disposed in any manner other than through the sewage disposal system. Utility sinks, floor sinks and the occasional use of the toilet should be used for the disposal of liquid waste. The disposal of mop water and similar liquid waste in food preparation sinks, hand washing facilities and ware-washing facilities is not acceptable, as it may contribute to the contamination of foods. Direct wastewater connections. One of the greatest problems with sewage and liquid waste disposal in food establishments is direct connections between the sewage plumbing systems and drains originating from equipment. All such equipment must have an indirect connection consisting of a physical break in the drain line. Piping cross-connections. Cross-connections are of major public health concern in all types of food operations, as these are situations that contribute to backflow and backsiphonage of contaminated water to the safe water supply system. Hoses connected to water outlets without a backflow prevention device is one of the most common cross-connections found in food establishments. Units such as manual or mechanical sprays, injecting units, dishwashing pre-rinse spray units, washdown stations, power spray cleaning units, that are connected to the water supply system without a backsiphonage device are potential cross-connections. Submerged inlets and garbage grinders and other equipment are also cross-connections. Did you know that Housekeeping includes resources that allow you to create, manage and implement GFSI and HACCP-based food safety and quality programs? Improve your food safety and quality skills and knowledge? Train and develop your team to create better food safety and quality outcomes? Find suppliers and service providers to partner with your business? The information and training resources available through Housekeeping included a variety of formats, such as website content, MP4, MP4 and text, MP3, PDF and slideshow. Are you ready to take the next step in your food compliance journey? Visit Housekeeping today to create your profile and access the full versions of our food safety and quality information packages and much more.